Hey y'all. Um, I truly believe that traveling the world as a black woman gives you the most honest view of the world, of whatever country you're in, whatever city you're in. It's like a social litmus test. And I wanted to talk about that today. So, welcome back to our cozy little corner of the internet. If you don't know, my name is Alexis, and I post every single day. Check the track record. Today's day 17, which is crazy. 17 days of consistent posting is absolutely insane. But hop on this train early. Our goal is at minimum 100 days, but hopefully a full 360. So, as I said, hop on this train early and come with me on the journey. This is going to be exciting. Whew, okay. Also, I have notes over here on the side. So if I'm looking over, that's what it is. I'm looking at my laptop. So yeah, y'all. I this is partially inspired by Glowatanmo's most recent video of 5 countries I warn black women about. And I was thinking about it because I haven't done as much traveling as she has. I've been to 20 countries so far, and I'm hoping to reach 30 by the end of the year. But what I will say is thinking of my own travel experiences, the travel of my friends and my family, um, it's so interesting being at the the crossroads of being a black person and also being a woman, because let me tell you, if a place don't like black people, we get the brunt of it. And if you don't treat women well, we also know that. It's Lord. Yeah, but it I think traveling the world, seeing different places as a black woman is it gives you an honest mirror into your society and your culture and how you treat people in general, how you treat minorities, how much you respect women. And I want to make it clear, obviously, there are plenty of places in the world where there are minority groups that are mistreated, or different tribes where people like look the exact same, but you're from a different tribe, therefore I hate you, and all that sort of stuff. So, obviously, not talking about that, but generally speaking, I think of any demographic, if you want to know how good your society is, how are you treating the black woman? Mm. So a couple of things. One, it's been very interesting for me as you see different parts of the world and meeting people who, some of them have seen a lot of black people, but they obviously have feelings about the black people that they've met, or have never seen black people in the world, or in their lifetime, like in person, and seeing if it's going to be like hostility, or seeing if it's like a genuine, like, ignorant curiosity. And I don't use ignorant in like the most negative sense, just generally like you have never seen an actual black person, and now you're like, whoa, this is crazy. And I'll give a couple of personal experiences as well. I feel very blessed and very privileged that I haven't had any like crazy racist racist experiences abroad. Like I have heard of people going to different parts of Italy and being called monkey. I Gloria Tanmo just talked about being in Czechia and somebody like spitting at her feet. Not like, I haven't had any crazy experiences like that. However, I have definitely had travel experiences in very homogenous places, and people didn't know, or people couldn't tell that certain people were racist until I walked into the room, or until I started talking about certain things and different topics come up, and then it's like, oh, ooh. I think I mentioned this in my other video as well, like learning that one of my travel companions was racist. To be fair, I didn't know her very well at the time, and I hope she's better now. I think she is. Hope she's doing well. But yeah, like for instance, there are a lot of places that treat women really well, but they hate black people. And then it's like, well, can't. That don't help me none. Or you go certain places and they don't mind black people, but they don't like women. Uh, it's absurd. And one thing I think you learn very quickly as you're traveling is you learn really quickly what the difference between just like the like I said before, the curiosity, the like, oh, this is a new type of person that I've never experienced before. And there's even different types of curiosity because some people are curious from afar. I almost don't mind staring. I've had plenty of people staring to the point where it's like uncomfortable, but at a certain point, you just got to ignore it and keep going on your way cuz what are you going to do? Get in somebody's face because well, I'm not the type to get in somebody's face anyway, but get in somebody's face because they're looking at you too long, like if it's not aggressive, it just is what it is. But then I've had experiences, for instance, I wish I could remember which like country I was coming from, but I know I was on a China Air flight. Okay. It was me and my cousin. And of course, we just went on vacation. I think were we coming back from Bali? Is that what it was? I can't remember. I'll be so honest, I can't remember. But of course, we went on vacation. So at the time, my hair was loose and I got my vacation braids. I had, cute little. He was coming back from New Zealand. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And we're on this China Air flight and I'm trying to get some rest. So I fall asleep. And when I wake up, I can feel like, somebody's not like pulling on your hair, but you can feel like the rustling. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I turn my head, and mind you, just about the whole flight is what I'm assuming is Chinese people, but I'm so sorry if there were from people from other Asian countries on that flight. I'm assuming since it was China Air, they were headed back to China. Um, and I look over, and my braid is in the row behind me. And the three ladies behind me and my cousin are grasping my braid. And I don't know what they were saying. They were talking to each other, just stroking my like, ma'am, that means you had to have reached your hand into my row, grabbed my braid, and threaded it through the seats. And now you and your friends are having a whole conversation about my braids. And then the row behind them, as I'm looking at them, I look up and the people in the row behind them are peeking over the seats, also looking at my braids. And it's one of those moments when it's like, there's a moment where you're trying to process, like, okay, this person isn't being aggressive, but also they're touching part of my person and I would like my hair back. So I turn around and I grab my braid and I just pull it back and they're just like, like, okay, yeah. Y'all. And then there's another time in Singapore, which I still joke to this day that I'm probably in a bunch of like I was probably all over Singaporean Facebook that day because I was walking around Singapore. It was I think that one was probably my farthest solo trip to date. I think anyway. And I was exploring, having the time of my life, y'all. Oh, I was having the time of my life. And I was at the gardens by the bay. There's like a cloud forest that's attached to, if you have ever seen Crazy Rich Asians, the scene where the wedding, it's not where the wedding is, but like where the reception is, where like those huge like I don't want to say electrified trees, but it's like the artificial trees are. Well, there's another part of that that's called the cloud forest, and it's like it's like a garden. I think it at the time it had the world's highest indoor waterfall. Now I think it's actually at the Changi airport, at the Singapore airport. But anyway, so I'm walking around there. I'm like looking at all these plants. It's beautiful. It's lush. It's green. And I see kind of out of the corner of my eye this lady who she's not looking at the plants. She's not looking at me, but she's kind of inching closer, and I'm like, okay, well maybe she's keeping an eye on her kids or her family or something. And and I keep walking and I keep noticing like every time I move to like a different plant or like walk across the aisle, she's right behind me, either right behind me or right next to me. And I'm like, she trying to pickpocket me? I don't think so. Singapore is extremely safe. I'm like, I don't think this is what this is. So then I just kind of awkwardly look over. I give her a little wave, and she looks over. She waves back, but she still doesn't like you. It's still like a weird situation, right? And excuse me. One of these days, y'all. One of these days, this allergy medicine is gonna kick in. Feel free to drop some allergy medicine recommendations, because the way my sinuses work. Anywho, back to the story. Um, so I kind of look over. I can tell she's looking like at another person. She, waves to me, but then she like zones back into whatever else she was looking for, and I'm thinking it's a person. So then I look over, and her friend has her phone up, like taking a picture of her, and her friend is like keeps telling her, what I'm assuming is like get closer, right? And then it clicks. They've never seen a Negro before. So they have never seen a black person before, and they're trying to get a picture of the only real life in person, in the flesh black person they can, because they don't know when this opportunity is going to happen again. And then you have to have one of those moments. It's like, okay, again, who knows when their next experience when with a black person is going to be. So am I going to be like weird about it, or am I going to make this a positive experience, right? Which is also, we'll get to that. It can be a little exhausting being the representative for your race, but um so I'm kind of giggling. Mind you, I'm having the time of my life. So I'm already in a good mood. It was a weird experience. So I was just like, okay. And so I motioned her friend to come over, and I'm like, do you guys want a picture? And they're like, oh my gosh, yeah. So I got multiple selfies with these two little Asian ladies, and I don't know where they were from, if they were visiting Singapore or if they were Singaporean, no idea. I just know I never saw any other black people while I was there, and I don't think they have seen another black person before then or since. So hope they had a good time, and I really do think I was all over Singaporean Instagram or Chinese Instagram or Facebook or whatever. Whatever. I'm in somebody's family album from their trip to Singapore. That's all I know. I just think that's hilarious. Yeah, but getting back to what I was saying before, it even that can be kind of exhausting. Like it's amusing, I'm glad that I've had more of those kinds of experiences where people are just ignorant. Like they genuinely don't know any better, especially in cultures where the the norm for personal space is a little different. Like the personal bubble is a little bit smaller, so touching somebody else isn't as big of a deal. um yeah, like why do I have to be the representative for my race? And then of course however I act is how they're going to expect the next interaction with a black person to be. So you try to make it positive, and I think it's perfectly okay as a black person, as a black woman, as anybody who's a minority to not want to be the representative and be like, "Look, get out of my face." That's okay too. But I really try. I really try, y'all, to try to give people a positive experience with black folks, because I think that's another thing that it influences when we go abroad someplace. If these people have only ever met one other black person, that other black person is me. If they don't like if they don't like black people, it's not because of their interaction with me. You know what I mean? And that's kind of a crazy thing. But then it's such a contrast because other places you go and you feel completely invisible. Like, ch- child, people will be pushing you out the way. The number of times, where was I going? I think I was going to Ghana, and it was like I had to fly from here in DC to Morocco, and then from Morocco to Accra to Ghana. And the number of times that people, and it was old people. I don't know. I, and it was an old white lady and an old, what I'm assuming is a Ghanaian black man. Okay, the number of times that people just completely disregarded me when I was, for instance, like in line going to security. First was a little old, the white lady. And I was like, okay, whatever. You know, she was old. She put her bag, her little like duffel bag on the floor, and she just kept basically kicking it forward. And I was like, okay, you know, whatever. She ain't kicking me. So whatever gets you there, ma'am. And then I was noticing she kept kicking her bag past me. And you know, I feel like it's the same when you're in traffic. Like in your car, you can tell when somebody's like trying to weasel their way in. So they just keep getting a little closer and a little closer and a little closer, trying to like bogart their way in. And so, mind you, I'm here. She's back here, and every time she pushes her bag a little closer, and then she's like, she's literally, I'm like, ma'am, I can feel the breath coming out of your nostrils on my shoulder. And I knew what she was trying to do. She was just trying to push past me. And eventually, when we like turn, you know, one of the corners where the dividers are, she pushes her bag like perpendicular to where the line is going, and she just walks in front of me. And I'm like, hello? Hello? No response. Doesn't turn around. I'm like, okay. Is it really that big of a deal? Because again, we're headed to Morocco. Who the heck knows who? I know people have horror stories from Morocco. Surprisingly, I've been to Morocco a couple of times and I've only had positive experiences, but for some reason in that airport. So then the same thing happened, but with an old Ghanaian man. And I'm like, is it because you know I'm not Ghanaian? Is it because I'm a woman? Is it because I'm young? Like what? And with him, I was pissed. Cause like, sir, I didn't get in his face. I didn't yell at him, but I was like, hello, I'm right here. And then later on down the line, I ended up getting in front of him anyway because it took him forever to get his bags together. So say la vie. But um yeah. Anywho, there's just it feels like such a loaded thing. There's a lot of weight, and sometimes you can feel unnecessary responsibility traveling as a black woman, because again, like, you have to worry about if people are going to be racist. You have to worry about your safety as a woman, and then you also have to worry about being like the representative for your race. And again, sometimes it can be fun, well, amusing, let's say. But sometimes I just want to enjoy myself. Can I enjoy the cloud forest without being the representative for all the black people that are ever going to be seen in China? You know? I don't know, y'all. Yeah. So, closing points. I think if you really want to know how well your society functions, if you really want to know how racist, how closed-minded, how whatever your country is, invite a bunch of black women. And okay, one more point I think is also crazy because I know I don't get the worst of it. Like, as a lighter skinned black woman, I know for a fact that I don't get the worst of it. I know that darker skinned women get it so much worse. So I'm like, if it's this ridiculous for me, how are some of y'all doing it? Ugh, man. I yeah, anyway, we're gonna close on that point. But yeah, man, if a place works for black women, I think it'll work for just about anyone. If you want a real honest look at what your city, what your country is like, look up the black bloggers, look up the black Instagrammers, look up the black TikTokers, look up the black YouTubers. You're here, you found her. Yeah. Anywho, thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for joining me in our cozy little corner of the internet. Again, if you don't know, my name is Alexis. I post every single day. Check the track record. Today is day 17, y'all. Hop on this journey, hop on this train. We're on a journey to at least 100, but hopefully 365 videos posted this year. So, yeah, I talk about pivoting into tech, pivoting into tech sales, traveling the world. Um, incorporating more confidence and unbridled audacity into your life and navigating big life changes. So, if that sounds like it's interesting to you, hit that subscribe button and yeah, we'll talk again tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Bye.